Think about this language. I'm oppressed. No, you deal with oppression. Oppression is not you. You are not your job. You are not your circumstances. You are not the way you are treated. You are not other people's opinions. That has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with your future. That has nothing to do with your value. That has nothing to do with your possibilities. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is FAERIE, and today I am presenting to you a manifestation guide curated for marginalized identities. I have notes here. This might be a long video because I wanted to make sure I covered as much as possible. So you might want to grab a snack. You might want to grab a notebook. Yeah, by the end of this video, it is my intention you leave this video feeling confident on the next steps you need to take towards your manifestation, feeling motivated, feeling loved on, feeling inspired, and feeling more clarity on the direction you need to take. I'm going to be dropping all kinds of resources, channels, videos, songs, books to just help you on your manifestation journey and help you heal and help you step into your dream life, your dream self. And yes, let's get into the video. I want to start off the video by talking about why it's important for us queer people, us black people, as women, us indigenous people, like for all of us to have a manifestation guide for us specifically. For us creatives, for us neurodivergents, you get the point. So I've read all types of books, watched all types of videos on spirituality, manifestation, books like The Secret, books like Becoming Supernatural, The Four Agreements, things like that. And sometimes I feel when I watch those videos or read those books, I feel like something is missing, and something is missing. A perspective is missing because these books and these techniques are being written from a place of privilege, if we take a look at the authors. And unfortunately, even though the laws of spirituality in the universe transcend all these labels that keep us divided in this earthly realm, we still operate on this earthly realm. So unfortunately, race, sexism, race, sex, gender, all of that can't be fully separated as long as we live and operate on this world and in this country. That is my opinion. So I feel that a lot of books, a lot of teachings surrounding spirituality and manifestation are being taught from only one perspective, are being taught from a perspective of privilege that may not resonate for everybody. Because I know, for example, in The Secret and in Becoming Supernatural, they provide all of these examples, all of these success stories. And I often found myself wondering if the people in those stories looked like me at all, if they operated in the same, reality as me at all. Yeah, even if I'm watching a TED Talk or a video, if I feel like the person just doesn't have the same experiences as me, it's really hard for me to fully absorb the inspiration and the motivation and the information, I guess, that is being presented in the video, because it feels like it doesn't apply to me. I can't see myself in them. And I think that's so important when you're learning from other people when it comes to this, to be able to see yourself, to be able to see yourself reflected in them, in their story, in order to really tap into that possibility, to really feel like things are possible for you. So I feel like, to be completely real, we should just acknowledge the elephant in the room. It's hard to feel that belief and that inspiration and be like, oh, this can really happen for me because it happened for them. You feel that person lives in a different reality. It possibly start to receive information from someone whose people you feel like you have been wounded by. Let's just be real. Let's just talk about it. Let's just acknowledge the elephant in the room. So I feel like what this comes down to is possibly a lack of representation and possibly toxic positivity is what we can receive some of this information as. Now, I'm not faulting any of these authors because this information is, invaluable. It's very helpful, of course. I highly recommend these books for everyone to read. It's such great information, but I suppose it's the way that it's written. It just often feels like something is missing for us, or at least for me. It's just like how health issues surrounding women and people of color when it comes to mental health, physical health, etc. is heavily under-researched, right? For example, if you look up, a dosage, how much dosage should I take of a medication? When you look it up, likely that dosage, the research surrounding that dosage is catered to probably the white male body. Researching what works for one demographic and then just using that as a band-aid, just using that to apply to everyone else doesn't work, and I think it's the same for manifestation. The lack of diversity and perspective within, and I guess technique and approach within these books is a form of lack of representation within research, I feel. So here's something that is very important. Here's the science behind it. People of color, especially as Black people, especially as Indigenous people, I'm not an expert. I don't have all the sources and whatnot. You'll have to do some research on your own. But as a general statement, as people of color, as women, as Indigenous people, etc., we're all operating on a different nervous system. We're operating on an entirely different nervous system. This comes down to epigenetics and generational trauma. Epigenetics is basically the scientific explanation for generational trauma. Basically, we inherit fears, we inherit trauma, even when it comes down to our DNA. So when these books talk about not giving power to negativity, to negative thoughts, the playing field is not level on this earthly realm. The difficulty of reprogramming the subconscious is not equal for everyone. We have way more negativity to sort through, way more fog, way more spells cast against us, way more hexes. In the 4 agreements, the author describes, speaking negatively about someone as black magic, as casting a spell. And when you have a marginalized identity, you have way more, negativity, I guess, being spoken against you, and it deserves to be acknowledged. If you're a person of color or a person of a marginalized identity, no matter how positive you are, no matter how happy you are, no matter how much of a growth mindset you have, you will still experience oppression and discrimination, and not everyone has to deal with that. So we need something catered for us. It would be unfair not to acknowledge it, not to talk about it. So what I want to say is, many of us are first generation, many of us are generational curse breakers, many of us are the first to have a college degree, many of us are meant to be the first entrepreneur in our family, many of us are meant to be the first artists. Many of us have grew up never having seen someone in our family, someone who looks like us in close vicinity, do the things that we want to do. Many of us have to be the first to do things with very little resources, little to no resources, no inheritance, no cushion, no plan B, no emergency fund, no role model, which makes it even harder to see ourselves in our dream position. We haven't seen anyone do it yet. We often have to be the first. This is the perspective that I want to share this information from. This is the perspective that I want to teach from. These are very unique circumstances that deserves to be held and approached with love and with intentionality, and that's what I intend to do. I've curated my own little curriculum of information, tips, books, songs, advice, mindset shifts, separated into 5 different steps. And I'm not an expert, I'm just sharing from my own experiences and sharing information that I think all of us should know. It is my intention that you leave this video feeling confident, feeling seen, feeling clarity on your next steps, what you need to do to step into your dream self, your dream possibilities, your dream reality. And yeah, so with that being said, with that pretty long explanation as to why we deserve to have spirituality and manifestation be taught and be spoken from and approached with us in mind, made for us by us, if you know what I mean. So I think step 1, the first and most important step that I feel hasn't been covered as much, is to grieve and get ugly. This is a crucial step, especially for us marginalized identities. In order to break down our negative beliefs, our limiting beliefs, in order to release them, we have to acknowledge them first. All of our negative beliefs, our limiting perspectives, we have to acknowledge them. All of our wounds, we have to acknowledge them first in order to move past them. Acknowledging the negative does not give it power. I feel like that's a common misconception. It's actually the opposite. Ignoring and running from harsh truths and realities is what actually is giving them power. Villainizing sadness and negativity and ego and lust and all the things, and trying to shun them and shut them down like they aren't perfectly human, like there's some big monster ready to come and trash a room, I think is counterproductive, because it's likely just comes from a wound. It's likely just a wounded child. And avoidance is a form of attention on a subconscious level. We've been taught that feeding into negative thoughts and giving into negative beliefs negatively affects your reality and your results, which is partially true. But the first step for us is moving through this pain, is acknowledging this pain and holding space for this pain, because we deserve to. Whatever you're ignoring is taking up big space in your subconscious. I promise you, it's taking up mad storage, and soon enough you're going to run out of space and you're going to have to pay $2.99 for some extra gigabytes. If you know, you know. We have to normalize acknowledging and talking about the shadow, or it's going to continue to rule our lives. Think about this country's shadow and how it's continuously omitted from discourse, from day-to-day conversations. The wealth gap. Think about women's health issues. Women are literally in a health crisis, and it's really not talked about or handled or being addressed in the way that it should be. No matter how many rooms and conversations we're left out of, these issues continue to affect millions. It's actually making it worse. Normalize acknowledging the truth, no matter how ugly it is. That is the first step. That's the first step, is you need to face the ugly. If you don't acknowledge it, if you don't work through it, take the time to feel it, to cry, to move through it, it becomes an energetic blockage. It becomes stored in your body. And a lot of us do have these energetic blockages and trauma stored in our body, and I'll talk about that in the next step. The first step in our journey is not jumping straight to positivity and growth and healing. The first step is ugly. The first step is grieving and feeling our pain and sitting with our pain and getting to know our pain. All the abuse and neglect and times where justice was never served and times where you never got closure, we need to feel that. You're going to have to sit with it first. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. And it's likely, since we're generational curse breakers, we're healing centuries of trauma, of pain, of wounds that have been repeated and handed down to the next generation. So this is big work. This is ancestral work, likely. And I'm so proud of you. Like, you deserve a hug. You deserve some candy. Look. Here you go. You deserve this. Oh, you don't like this flavor? Sorry. But for real, on a serious note, like, this is big work. I'm genuinely so proud of you for being here and for being the one who has to carry the weight of ending the cycle. And you can do this. It's going to be hard, but it's going to pay off so much for you. And I'm so proud of you wherever you are in your journey. Okay. You are likely the first in your family, the first in your lineage to properly feel their emotions, to properly process their trauma, to have the full autonomy available to chase their dreams. So this is big stuff. It's going to be heavy. We have to start here first. Only after we do this, after we sit with our pain, can we work towards removing the power from the labels that have been attached to us. But first we have to sit through the pain. When you hit rock bottom, you blossom. It's only up from there. And by no means am I romanticizing struggle. I'll talk about that later. Like, we struggle enough, but this is an inevitable part of our journey. Now, I want to move on to the next point, which is healing your nervous system. And I want to say that part of the reason why sitting through your pain is so important is because, putting it off, trying to ignore it and suppress it and numb it with anything, escapism, drugs, hooking up, whatever it is, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you wouldn't need to keep doing those things to try and feel better. It wouldn't keep returning to you in the absence of those things. So we know it doesn't work. We have to feel through our pain. We have to move through our pain. We have to sit in it. We can't put a timer on it. We can't rush it. However long it's going to take is however long it's going to take. I have sat through my pain for years. No, I sat through my pain for about 9 months. But I spent years beforehand running from it. Don't prolong it. Don't prolong it. Just acknowledge it. And it's going to pay off because the longer you spend sitting with your pain and your negative thoughts and whatever just comes up, just allow whatever comes up to come up. You get to know it so well that you get to know where it came from, why it's there, and it gets to a point as you move through it, why it doesn't belong to you. How you can let it go. In order to know how to let it go, how to work through it, how to evade it, how to move past it, you have to get to know it. So the next step, I think, for us is to heal our nervous system. We literally have trauma stored in our bodies. We have energetic blockages from our suppressed trauma. It's an inevitable part of our experience on this world. It's okay. So a lot of us are stuck in chronic stress. We're stuck in survival mode and we're not meant to live in it. As I said, we are meant to feel our pain. We are not meant to live in it. And when you continue to suppress it and run from it and treat it like it's this big scary monster, you're living in your pain because you're bringing it with you every day. It's going to follow you every day until you face it. We are meant to feel our pain. We are not meant to live in it. Okay? Not meant to live in it means not letting it dictate our actions, not letting it dictate our future, not having to do all these things, escapism and drugs and whatever it is, and addictions and whatever and whatnot, to escape our harsh truth. If you're doing that, it's still dictating your reality. You're still living in it. Despite how far you try and run from it, you're doing the opposite. And you're right next to it. You're so close to it. So I think when I say heal your nervous system, I think this is the healing I'm talking about, like on a bodily level. So releasing your trauma, you can do it in all sorts of ways, and you just have to figure out what makes you feel the best. I know especially for women, we have a lot of trauma stored in our hips. So dancing, yoga, working out, taking care of your body is definitely a part of healing the trauma stored within it. I recommend reading The Body Keeps the Score. I haven't finished this book yet, but because it's kind of a very slow start, oh my god, but I recommend reading The Body Keeps the Score to help you have an understanding of how trauma is stored in the body. Especially for women, I recommend the channel Alexis, I think. It's AWW Lexis. I'll attach a picture and all of that, all the information. She talks about healing our wounds as women. We have deep wounds with our masculine and feminine energy. She can explain it so much better. I recommend it. She talks about all of these things, trauma being stored in the body, and it's catered specifically for women. So I think that's a beautiful resource. You should definitely go check her out. So this is what I meant when you're not meant to live in survival mode, to live in your pain and your stress every day. It's not natural. And we don't have to do that. So I think incorporating just healthy habits is the first step to this. So letting go of whatever you're trying to do to numb, to run from your pain, letting go of your addictions and your vices. Stop being on your phone the second you wake up and right before you go to bed. That is when your brain is like the most malleable. And when you're on your phone, you're scrolling on TikTok, we're getting all types of messages, all types of negativity. We're getting all types of drama, all types of gossip, all things about politics, all the bad things that are going on in the world. Like, you do not need that in your brain right before you go to bed, and especially not right before you wake up, because what you do right before you wake up sets the tone for your entire day. And if you're doing that every morning, like, no. Don't do that. Don't make that the first step in your morning routine, okay? The first hour of your day, don't even have your phone. Like, it's going to be hard. I've been battling back and forth with this, but it's important to prioritize this. Especially if you have ADHD or you're neurodivergent. If the first thing you're looking for in the morning is a dopamine hit from your phone, you're going to crave that for the rest of the day. So you want to prolong that. You want to do a healthier, more sustainable dopamine hit, like reading a book or journaling or making some breakfast. I recommend not being on your phone at least an hour before bed and at least an hour after you wake up. It's going to help you so much. And this is also for this, like, limit all the programming. Like, when you're scrolling on TikTok, when you're on social media, when you're doing whatever, you're getting all these like messages and reminders of the scary state of the world, of the pain. Like, we're taught to keep focusing and hyperfixating on this negativity. So I highly recommend just hopping off of social media for a little bit. I had to do that for a long time. It's like always presenting you with some type of trigger. I feel like politics, or somebody saying something racist or sexist, the freaking male podcast, or which ethnicity wouldn't you date, or the pop the balloon contest where women are like being judged by their physical appearance by men. Like, no, like, it's all types of stuff, and we need to just limit it. Someone to compare yourself to is always on there. Like, I highly recommend just hopping off social media for a little bit, because all these things are just pulling you further from yourself, from being able to hear yourself and your mind and your universe, and it's just creating too much fog, and it's getting in the way of your clarity, and it's getting in the way of you having that clarity to be, and discernment to be able to pursue your purpose. It's distractions. It's distracting you, and it's keeping you stuck in a loop. I also recommend reading the book In the Flow by, I don't know, maybe I'll attach a picture. It addresses, how women are in a chronic health crisis, and it talks about how to heal, those parts of yourself, how to get your cycle in sync, and that's very important for us as women, and it definitely ties into our manifesting. Now, sorry if I'm going fast. I'm trying to cover so many things. I can't talk about everything in one video, but I'm just trying to just give as much direction and information and inspiration and resources as possible in this video. So yeah, trauma can be released through so many ways, through singing, through dancing, meditation. So I think part of the question is, when we're dealing with constant external messages, planting negativity in our mind about ourselves, about what we look like, about what's possible for us, about our lives, what do we do? So as I said, limit the programming, limit your consumption of the programming, because programming is going to continue as usual. They're going to continue to push the same tired-ass narrative onto us about what we can and can't do, what's possible for us, this, that, and the third, how we're supposed to look, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So here's what you do. Change the channel. Matter of fact, turn the whole TV off and go touch some freaking grass. Okay? You do not have to listen. You do not have to engage. I feel like you do not have to get obsessed with constantly being in touch with politics and what's going on. Like, it's okay to detach from those things for a bit, for the sake of your sanity, for the sake of you. Pick you first, okay? It's okay to do so. So yeah, detach from politics, detach from the news for a bit, detach from social media a bit, and watch the peace and sanity return to you, okay? So I feel like a common limiting belief, what that keeps us stuck in this, is We feel stress, we feel a lack of control, we try and think of every possible outcome, we're feeling anxious because we have all these external things going on. Ask yourself this: when has worrying about money constantly brought you more money? What has worrying about what happened in the past constantly done for you besides rob you of the present? Has it changed what has happened in the past? Did it fix anything? Is it fixing anything? When has arguing with the bigots in the comments changed their mind? When has constantly worrying about what's going on in the world, how people view you, how people feel about you, all the injustice going on anywhere, when has it changed it? You cannot control all of these things. And you do not have to carry them every day in your mind. Whatever's going to happen outside of you and your circumstances in your life in the world, it's going to happen. Roll with the punches. But you do not have to carry it in here every single day, because it's not going to do anything. You can create a sanctuary of peace in here, and that is what you need to do. That's what you deserve to do. You can choose joy. You don't have to wait for everything outside of you to change to choose joy. You are not allowed to live in your fear, your pain, your doubt, your comfort zone. I don't care what the world looks like. You're not allowed to live in it. Got it? I want you to ask yourself, how much of your pain is caused by your own thoughts and actions or lack thereof? I'm going to say it again. How much of your pain is caused by your thoughts, your actions, or lack thereof? Oh my God. Why y'all didn't tell me my makeup was all smudged? Like, that is not cute. Another recommendation is a book called No Mud, No Lotus. I have it over somewhere, but I can't find it. No Mud, No Lotus. I'll add a picture. And it talks about the art of suffering and just completely cutting out unnecessary suffering. Life is hard enough. We don't have to do anything for life to be hard for us. So we want to cut out all that extra stuff, all that extra weight. We don't need it. We don't need it. Step 3. Step 3 is to reprogram your subconscious. I need you to be questioning every single belief that you have, okay? Because what you've been taught to believe about money, about abundance, about beauty, about education has been taught through the lens of old sexist white men. Old sexist, racist, all of the isms and odious white men. It's just the truth. So I highly recommend. I have a video. It's called How to Silence the Old White Dude Who Lives in Your Head. I highly recommend you watch that, because damn near everything you've been taught to believe about yourself, about the possibilities of life, about what things should look like, how things have to go, has been taught through the lens of an old white dude. I recommend the channel I Understood. There's this amazing person named Ayanda. She also has a podcast, I believe, on Spotify called The Soul Salon. I'll add all the details, of course. Everything will be in the description too. She words this concept so beautifully, so I highly recommend you check out her channel. Right, so as I said, replace all the escapism and scrolling with healing and learning. So you don't have to be scrolling on TikTok. You could be watching a video like this. There are all types of videos on YouTube. You could be listening to an audiobook. You could be reading a book. So just replace those habits, because we really have normalized addictions. If you wake up and the first thing you reach for is that phone, you have an addiction. You may not think you have an addiction because you don't have any issues with any hard drugs or drugs, but we have normalized addictions to our phones, and it is impacting us very much so. So if you wake up and the first thing you need is that phone, you got an addiction. So I have been working on healing this for a minute, so let me know if you guys would like a video on healing your addiction to escapism and scrolling. But let me get back to my point. Every day you need to be pouring positivity into yourself to counter the negativity that is being thrown at us constantly, okay? So this can be affirmations, as I said, motivational YouTube videos, books, all types of things. So identify how much of your pain is coming from thoughts, your own thoughts, thinking about the past, worrying about the future, pessimism, negative self-talk, and identify if it's yours. Identify where it came from. This is the importance of step one, because once you sit with your pain, you know it so well. You know where it came from. You know what insult it came from, what bully it came from, what TV show lack of representation it came from, once you've sat through it and actually acknowledged it and gotten to know it. So you want to cut out all that extra stuff. We don't need it. We have enough negativity being thrown at us externally. We don't need to be suffering in our minds and in our bodies. It's literally not necessary. I want you to examine all of your thoughts. Get familiar with being aware of all of your thoughts, the way you talk to yourself, okay? The way you view yourself. And if it doesn't feel right, if it feels negative, it's likely that it's not truthful. It doesn't align with who you truly are, and you can release it. If you wouldn't choose to believe that about yourself, about your future, about your capabilities, about anything, someone or some experience or several put that belief there inside of you, and it's not yours, and you don't have to carry it into every day. You don't have to carry it into your future. Drop it right now, leave it there, and walk away. The way that you live demonstrates what you believe to be true. If you've been taught that you have to look a certain way to achieve this or that there's only one pathway to success, there's only one pathway to your dreams, and you can't do it because you don't have this degree, or you can't do it because you don't have this look, or you can't, and then you proceed to never take risks, to make yourself smaller, to talk yourself out of choosing your dreams. Who the freak taught you that? Because if it were up to you, you wouldn't be doing this. You wouldn't believe this about yourself. You're operating in the reality where whatever your enemies and your ops believe about you is true. Because you're acting as if those things are true, that you can't do this, and so you don't take the first step, you don't post the video, because you're acting as if, those judgments and those projected lies are true, and they're not. They're not true. You get to decide the rules of your life, nobody else. So when you have all these negative messages in your ear, from the moment you enter this earth, you might begin to mistake these beliefs and these thoughts as your own, and they're not. It's all programming, and you can remove it and begin to tune in to your own voice, your own inner truth, your own innate gifts. So don't mistake the negative talk, the negative beliefs for your own. Limit the external programming. Hand over the phone. Even if you're watching this video on your phone, put the phone in my hand. Put that damn phone down. So when it comes to reprogramming your subconscious, you could also listen to music. Be very hyper aware of what you're consuming, what movies you're watching, what you're seeing, what you're consuming on social media, what music you're listening to, and understand what the message is behind those things. I have a whole playlist of songs called Free the Fairies. I'm going to link it down below. It's on Spotify. I highly recommend you listen to it. It's about a little over an hour long. It has all types of different songs that are just that will just help you tap into positivity, self-love, help you elevate, help you reprogram your self-conscious, and help combat that negative talk, that voice in your head, and help you deprogram the negativity and help you reprogram new thoughts. Okay, so I have a whole playlist down below. Highly recommend you listen to it. So some common limiting beliefs we have surrounding this, some common limiting beliefs we have from the programming we've received from the day we came on this earth. 1, you don't have to wait on any external circumstances, any external achievement to be happy. And 2, you don't have to struggle and grind and just hustle to be abundant, to achieve your dreams. Okay? Yes, you have to work. No one is above work, but you don't have to struggle to be abundant. Okay? That is a lie. That is a big fat lie. It's important that we know this. And this narrative is especially harmful for women because it definitely goes against our natural energy. I highly recommend, as I said, Alexis, she talks about everything divine feminine energy. She talks about everything feminine energy, and she can say it a lot more articulately than I can. So yeah, that's another resource for you. Okay. I also recommend, of course, the 4 Agreements, because it's very concise. It's a quick read, and it talks about how to start not being affected by this programming, because all this programming is other people's opinions and other people's beliefs and other people's realities and things. It doesn't have to have anything to do with you, because it doesn't. It's really just their beliefs, their own shit they made up that they're projecting onto you. It's up to you whether it lands on you, whether you decide to absorb it. Now, step number 4 is to find your voice. Once we start doing the work to limit everybody else's opinions and everything else that's going on in the world and all the negativity, once we do the work to kind of detach from that, we can start getting in tune with our own voice, with our own purpose, with the divine voice of the universe and the plan that the universe has for us. Part of the reason why you may feel disconnected from your purpose, disconnected from the universe, feel lost or not a sense of direction is because possibly you're not taking care of yourself. Possibly you're always on your phone. You always have external things going on. You're always stimulating yourself, numbing yourself, distracting yourself. You can't hear nothing. It's too loud in here. Right, so find your voice. I feel like as people of marginalized identities, as people of color, as women, as a coping mechanism, as a trauma response, we have become overly attached to our oppression, to the labels that literally the oppressors created for us. We have become attached to them. What I mean by that is, think about this language. Think about the language. I'm oppressed. That's how we say it. I'm an oppressed person. No. You deal with oppression. Oppression is not you. You are not your job. You are not your circumstances. You are not the way you are treated. You are not other people's opinions. That has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with your future. That has nothing to do with your value. That has nothing to do with your possibilities. This is very important. You do not need to identify with your pain, with your circumstances, with your obstacles. That is not you. This is the part where we figure out our own truths, our own rules, okay? And we start rejecting everything else. And it's quite possible that you're going to feel delusional because your true voice, your true beliefs, your true way of being and living that you're meant to step into has been talked over. Your true voice has been talked over and gaslighted for so long that your true self, your true voice might feel unfamiliar. You might feel crazy. Let go of the need to be logical and let go of the need to be realistic. Delusional is the goal because it means that you're rejecting the limiting, constricting rules and beliefs and ways of being that are meant to keep you stuck, that have been projected onto us, that aren't even ours, that don't even align with us. Delusional is the goal. Because think about what this country, what this world has told us is logical. We have been taught that it's logical to spend majority of our life working. We have been taught that it's logical to spend majority of our life working. Once upon a time, it was logical to own a person. Logical and realistic has been determined by sexist, by racist, by men. Like, let that go. It doesn't apply to you. You get to define what is realistic and what is logical for yourself. So find your voice and your truth. And that's the importance of sitting with your pain. Once you've sat with your pain and you understand what is the voice of the enemy, when the enemy is talking, when that old white dude is whispering, talking in your ear, when you look in the mirror saying, you're too this, you're too that, you're not enough this, you're not enough that, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's literally not you. You don't have to listen, okay? As I said, I highly recommend my video, How to Silence the Old White Dude Who Lives in Your Head, and how to identify him. Right, so you can, once you hear that voice come up, you can decide what you want to do. You don't even have to fight. You could just walk away. You literally don't have to listen. They're going to keep throwing punches at us. You decide whether they land. You decide whether they hurt. You decide whether you want to fight back, okay? You could just walk away and leave him throwing air punches. You don't have to waste your energy. Sometimes it's necessary to stand up and fight, but we're not supposed to be constantly living in fight mode. In little spurts, do it when you can, but you don't have to waste your energy. They're going to be who they're going to be. The message is going to keep being pushed. They're going to keep throwing the same narrative. They're going to keep throwing punches. You don't have to waste no energy fighting. You don't even have to be in the ring. Just leave them throwing air punches. Just leave them fighting themselves. Fight in the air. Stop trying to battle with the biggest, okay? They're NPCs. It's all programming. They can't even think for themselves. Stop over-identifying with the labels that the enemy created for you, okay? Like, I'm talking about in my community, like, for example, in my community with black people, we have this whole dark skin, light skin. Do you know where that originated from? The plantation, babe. The plantation, the field slaves and the house slaves. And is so old. I'm so tired of it. We are so much more than that. Like, ew. Sorry. I had to get that off my chest. If you know, you know. Like, I understand, like, yes, it's can be acknowledged in the sense that it needs to be acknowledged in the sense that, you know, if you're darker, you face different obstacles, you get treated worse. Like, I know, obviously, but like, why are we identifying with these things? Like, we are so much more than that, and all we're letting it do is create these divisions. That's what they want, is to keep making boxes and divisions between us when we're it literally doesn't mean nothing. Change the way you talk to yourself, change the way you view yourself, build a new self-concept. What do you believe about yourself? What do you want to believe about yourself? What do you want to embody? Because you can't, whatever comes up in your brain when I ask you those questions, what do you want to believe about yourself? What do you want to embody? That came straight from source. Okay? So build a new step concept. Start doing practices to feel differently about yourself. I am offering these portraits, monochromatic self-portraits, where we can both do a little collaborative magic and channel your intentions into this portrait that I make of you, and it can help you step into your intentions, set intentions. It can help you embody what you want to embody. It can help you heal and release emotions, and it really just helps seeing yourself in the light that you want to be seen. So I will also link that down below if you'd like to commission me to do a portrait of you. Okay. Separate your voice from the enemy's voice, from things that have been projected onto you. And as I said, we want to get real ugly. We want to be real with ourselves in order to fully transcend. So all of us have internalized racism, internalized sexism, internalized homophobia, internalized colorism. All the OBs and isms have a place inside of us, and that's okay. You need to acknowledge it. However you think you need to act, you need to look, you need to be, can possibly be tied to one of those internalized OBs or isms. Or how you think others need to act or be. It's okay. It's okay, because it's not you. It wasn't put there by you. And the best thing to do is to just be aware of it. Don't mistake me for saying that we have to heal all these wounds. We didn't dig this hole. The idea that we need to work 10 times as hard to dig ourselves out of a hole that we didn't even put ourselves in, to do all this work, to reverse damage that we didn't even do, is crazy. So we're going to have these wounds of internalized racism and sexism, phobias. We're going to have these wounds. They're going to be there, okay? But in no way do they need to govern our lives and our decisions, okay? The wounds are going to come up. It might be there for the rest of our lives because we've had this programming for so long. We're going to continue to have things wounding us, and thrown at us, but it doesn't have to govern our lives and what we believe about ourselves and the decisions that we make, okay? Don't let it affect your actions. Start acting in the opposite of what that belief is. If you believe that your hair is too curly, too messy, too wild, too ugly, wear it out just as it is. Type stuff, okay? It is okay to believe in yourself. It is okay to chase your dreams. You do not have to be heavily realistic. Like, it's okay to believe in yourself, to chase your dreams, to chase something that is non-traditional or something that isn't deemed lucrative, okay? It is okay to believe that, and if you feel delusional, that's good, because you've been taught to do the exact opposite. You've been taught not to listen to your intuition, to not listen to your body, to not believe in yourself, that there's only one pathway to success. However many people there are in the world, there's a pathway to success, okay? How much power other people's projections, other people's beliefs and opinions have on you is entirely up to you. Before we can even detach from our fears, our limiting beliefs, we have to get to know them. We have to identify them. We have to get real close to them, okay? As I said in step 1. Okay, on to step number 5. Step number 5 is to take aligned action. Now, I asked a question in the polls in the community tab a while ago about what is the hardest for you when it comes to manifestations, and most people said the hardest thing for them is taking aligned action. And I understand that, because this is like the hardest part. This is going to help heal all of that anxiety inside of you, all of the doubt inside of you, but you're going to have to do the thing that scares you the most. it's like taking a cold shower. I think also taking a cold shower is a really great way to help heal and balance your nervous system. Taking cold showers, because it's like you perceive something that is scary. You do it, you're uncomfortable as fuck. You're very uncomfortable, then you get used to it, and then you're like, oh, it's okay, I can do it. That's the exact same things when it comes to taking aligned actions. Stop waiting on external confirmation. Stop waiting on a yes from somebody, okay? You think that the results or achieving the thing is going to heal you. It's not. It's not. The healing is going to come from in here. The satisfaction is going to come from in here. For example, I think often as women, we seek male validation to feel better about ourselves, because that is what we were taught to do. We were taught that the opinion of men determines our value. Bye. Goodbye. We're not choosing that anymore. Don't even be mad on yourself. You don't need to feel no shame. That's literally what we were taught, what we have been socialized to do as women. Choose to let it go today. But you need to be real with yourself, because think about what it has really done for you. You may have gotten a compliment or felt beautiful for a hot second, but how long did it last? Why do you have to keep chasing it if it works? And in the end, what did it really get? Did that man really give to you, or did he take from you? What is it really doing for you? Often, a lot of us oppressed people are seeking approval and validation from the people who created the concept that we aren't enough. Clock it. A lot of us people of marginalized identities are seeking confirmation, are seeking approval, are seeking validation from, are seeking to prove ourselves. We're seeking that validation, that compliment, that affirmation from the people who created the concept that we aren't enough. It makes sense and it doesn't make sense, because we're trying to prove ourselves, right? We're like, no, I can make this person think differently of me. Let go of what they think entirely. So yes, taking these action steps are going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be scary. I still have it, but I feel pretty healed from it. I feel like it doesn't rule my life anymore, my decisions anymore. I used to have and still have chronic anxiety and social anxiety. I used to be scared to walk into the gym by myself. I used to be scared to order for myself at a restaurant or at a cashier. I used to be scared of all types of things, and really it had to do with I used to be scared to post anything. I didn't even post on Instagram. Like, I used to be scared to post anything at all because I had a shame wound. I was ashamed of myself. I was ashamed of being perceived. I thought I would be judged, which came from a lot of things. And I had to just start doing scary things. I had to start going on solo dates. I had to start ordering for myself. I went to an open mic, sung in front of people. I started posting, videos that I know are imperfect. Like, just do the scary thing, and then you realize you'll live. You will live. So until you take action that goes against these negative beliefs, you're going to continue living the life that you're scared of. If you continue to live a life where you're trying to run from your pain, trying to numb your pain, trying to run from the harsh truth, trying to ignore the harsh truth, just trying to spending your day to day just trying to cope with reality, which is real and understandable, whatever you're trying to run from is going to continue to show up in your relationships, in your actions, in your friendships, and most importantly, it's going to show up in your results. You're going to be living in the reality defined by your limiting beliefs. So, a common limiting belief that many people have is, what if I'm cringe? What if they see me as cringe? What if people laugh at me? What if I fail? Stuff like that. Notice how that all has to do with everybody else but you. Who cares? Who cares? So what? So what if they do laugh? Okay? Just choose your heart. Life is going to be hard anyway. You can either be scared doing things that align with your purpose, that align with yourself, that bring you a sense of fulfillment, or you can be scared living the same day over and over. Pick. Which one? Choose your heart. Life is going to be hard. Life is going to be scary either way. Pick your scary. I recently booked a flight for my very first solo trip. Because I'm continuing to try and heal my anxiety and trying to build my confidence in my ability to create experiences for myself and to release my control. And also because it's fun and I had to stop waiting on somebody to travel with, waiting on somebody to go with. So I took charge. I booked a solo trip, okay? Yes, I'm scared. But I'm scared every day. I'm a recent graduate. I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. I have no idea where my life is going to go, if any of my all this time, if any of all this time and money and effort I'm putting into, my YouTube channel and my Etsy store and whatnot, if any of it is going to pay off, I'm scared every day. But I'd rather be scared doing this than what I was doing a year ago and just scared doing nothing. I'd rather be scared in Bali than scared in bed. Okay? Pick your hard, pick your scary. Because to me, the answer is clear. So if you're worried about what if they think I'm cringy, what if they judge me, okay, who cares? If they are judging you, okay, yikes, whatever, that's on them. But like, they're gonna judge you for 2 minutes and then probably forget about your freaking video. Post the name video. We also might have a common limiting belief that people like us, people who look like us, or people from our background cannot make it to the heights that we want to make it to, cannot make it in the career or in the area that we want to make it in. First of all, our people have been doing the impossible for centuries. Our people have been doing the impossible for centuries, so you can let that go right now. A lot of our ancestors physically did not have the privilege to chase their dreams. Like, they literally just physically didn't have the autonomy. They just couldn't do it. We have the autonomy, we have the time, we have the resources, we got YouTube, we got phones, we got Google. How could you not? How could you not? So here are some useful perspective shifts that'll help you. When you feel that you're getting caught up in identifying with your pain, with your obstacles, zoom out. Just zoom out a little bit. No one cares. Money is paper. We're literally on a floating rock in the middle of space. Okay? Anything is possible. Do you know how huge the universe is? Like, think bigger. We think so black and white, only this or only this. The possibilities of your future, there's 10 million times more possibilities than you can even imagine, okay? Right, as I was saying, money is paper, politics are man-made, labels are man-made, race is a social construct, even time is a social construct. Just zoom out a little bit and it will help you. It will help you take life less serious, because we're literally meant to have fun. None of these labels that have been projected onto us have anything to do with our value, with our potential, with our future, with our capabilities. Okay? More perspective shifts and things that'll help you. One, let go of the hustle, trying to work, trying to grind. You don't have to do all that. It's okay to relax. It's okay to allow opportunities to land in your lap and to believe that is possible. You're allowed to do things imperfectly. You're allowed to rest, okay? You're allowed to enjoy life. That is what your ancestors want for you. Our ancestors had to had to do a lot of back-breaking work. And what they want for us the most is to embrace rest and to embrace ease, especially as women, okay? Allow help. Call in help. It's okay to receive help. It's okay to receive in general without having to work for it. You don't have to work for everything. Abundance is our birthright, okay? We think we have to work for money, okay? Like, if you just change the way you think about money, we always think we have to work for money. We have to earn money. You know what money is? Food, water. You know what money is? Comfort, okay? Safety. We don't have to earn those things. Those things are our birthright. Quit trying to grind and hustle and work. Quit thinking that you have to grind and hustle and work and struggle to achieve your goals and allow it to be handed to you, okay? You have done enough work. You have struggled enough, and your ancestors want you to rest. Live and think in a way that your ancestors could have only dreamed of. If you dream of being an artist, okay? One of your ancestors or many of your ancestors had the same dream, but physically couldn't do it. They couldn't pursue it physically, as in they couldn't walk into the room because it was whites only. You feel me? If the only thing that is stopping you is self-thought, is your mind, and not physical shackles, you need to stand up. You need to be real with yourself. I'm dead serious. You have it better than you think. It's all about balance, acknowledging, feeling our pain, but definitely not living in it, okay? You have earned the right to abundance, to happiness, to enjoying life by being alive. Congratulations. Congratulations. Understand this, that what's going on in your mind is going to make or break you, not your external circumstances, okay? Not anybody else's opinions. What's going on in your mind, the way you see the world, is what is going to make or break you, nothing else. You either hand the old, outdated belief systems, perspectives, and values curated by the colonizers to the next generation, or you die with them, or you become their cause of death. Which one are you doing? And then you create a new truth to pass on to the next generation. Which one do you want to do? Because it's literally your choice. No one else can take that away from you. Choosing to believe in yourself is a part of the revolution. Choosing joy is a part of the revolution, okay? And I want to give a message specifically to Black women out there, okay? God forbid us Black women live a soft and selfish life. Oh my God. We deserve that. Just relax. Do not create any unnecessary pain for yourself. You can choose to enjoy life right now. You don't have to wait on anyone or anything to enjoy life. Yeah, I'm hoping that in this process and these things that I've shared, you learn not to internalize injustice so deeply. You do not have to identify with the way you've been treated, okay? That is not you. You are so much more than that. You do not have to prove yourself. You do not have to fight to be enough. You are enough inherently. You were born enough. You're allowed to do it, to chase your dreams imperfectly. You're allowed to chase your dreams scared, confused, lost. You're allowed to be a beginner, and you're still allowed to succeed, and you're still allowed to earn money, and you're still allowed to be comfortable, and you're still allowed to be praised. Okay? All right. So I know this was a long video, but that is everything I have to say. That's my guide. That is just about everything. I hope you are feeling inspired. I hope you have a new sense of direction and clarity. And I hope you find peace in the fact of knowing that there is at least one person out there that believes wholeheartedly in your talent and in your future and in your capabilities, that is rooting for you, okay? That sees you, okay? And that person is me. I wholeheartedly am so proud of you. I believe in your talents and your capabilities, okay? I believe you are completely able to succeed. I believe in you and your talent, okay? I am your fan. If you don't have anyone else around you rooting for you who believes in you, I do. So you have at least one person out there. You already have your first supporter. Look at you. So I really, truly hope this video was helpful. If you made it to this far in the video, I love you. So, what are we? But seriously, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly hope this video was helpful. I truly hope you left this video feeling inspired, feeling loved on. And yeah, bye.